You're listening to the Simple Growth Podcast, the show that helps business owners get their life back. Here's your host, Mike Callahan.
Welcome back to the SA Weekly Talk Show. Mike Callahan here. Special guest Tina Service was not able to make it with some internet connection problems. All the kiddos, obviously, in the neighborhood have been jamming up a bit of the bandwidth on the internet, but the show must go on. So we're going to be rebooking Tina Service Made for Time, hopefully next week. But I've got some special treat here for you. I'm going to go on kind of unprepared, but a topic that I've been very passionate about lately is how to create personalized estimates in Service Autopilot. So if you haven't bought your tickets for SA Thrive, the virtual conference for Service Autopilot, keynote speaker Marcus Sheridan is going to be talking about how to use video in your sales process to convert more sales. So what I'm going to do is actually give you a basically unscripted live version, jumping into Service Autopilot in a minute, how to use video and pictures of your properties that you're estimating in Service Autopilot. Now, there's a lot of apps that you can use to do this, but I'm going to show you how to actually use it literally with your cell phone and Service Autopilot and avoid a third-party software for extra cost and expense, and have all of the live video and pictures right inside your Service Autopilot estimate to create a personalized connection and close more sales in the process. I want to say what's up to Michelle of Pink Colors and Doug over there as well, saying what's up on the SA Weekly Talk Show. But what we're going to do is open up Service Autopilot and break down setting up the basic process of an estimate, and then how to take your basic estimate document in per each individual lead or client, how to add in property-specific pictures and property-specific videos to close more sales with personalized estimates. And this is going to be really, in my opinion, a huge game changer for SA users, Service Autopilot users that want to create that personalized connection. So if you're going out and doing a very large design build job, or a complex maybe post-construction clean in the cleaning industry, those aren't small ticket items. So we need to go out and differentiate ourselves from the competition and create a higher perceived value, and most importantly, overcome any sales or price objections. So without any further delay, I'm going to dive in here. Hopefully things go well. We have not rehearsed this, so hopefully this works out all right, but the show must go on. We want to provide valuable content for the SA ecosystem, whether you use Service Autopilot or you're looking to buy it in the future, or you just own a home service company and you're looking for some knowledge how to go out and outlearn and outwork your competition. Well, I tell you what, this is definitely one of them. So stay tuned here. I'm going to hop on the other screen and actually open the screen up. Like I said, totally unprompted. Tina tried to drive out to somewhere they had Wi-Fi, and their Wi-Fi was down as well. So we're bringing it live as we do on the SA Weekly Talk Show. Any comments, questions in between on the live here or recorded version, drop them in. I'm happy to answer those. And almost have the finishing touches on my SA Thrive talk, closing out the second day. So really excited about that. So those tickets, I believe, are still on special. Make sure you get your Thrive 2020 tickets for SA. And without any further delay, I'm going to dive into one of our test accounts and just show you really at a high level the foundational pieces of an estimate that are going into play, and then how to take the estimate document and process. Once it's standardized, and insert property-specific pictures and videos into it that are particular to each client's house without having to use a separate app or software. All we're going to need is our cell phone and YouTube Creator, and I'm going to show you how to do all that as well. So this is going to be a really cool, different take on the SA Weekly Talk Show today. Completely unprepared, but hey, here we go. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go in and show you how to break out and build some services in a matrices. So the idea is there's three types of estimating that we talk about. We have the first one where we go out and price particularly to what everyone else in your market is charging. And obviously that is not the way to go. But when we all get into business, we'll go up to a home for either lawn mowing or cleaning and go up and look at that home and say, you know, based on my market, I think this is what I should charge. So that's what we charge. Now, the second step is Dylan and I on the SimpleGrowth team like to call it guesstimating. So we go up and we kind of guess or estimate how long we think that job's going to take based on how many hours or minutes we think the job's going to take. So what I'm going to do is show you how to create a guesstimation system in Service Autopilot. And then finally is a production rate based estimating system based on the square footage of mowing and the square footage of cleaning, or the linear feet, or small, medium, and large shrubs. So we're going to break that down. But the cool thing is, in Service Autopilot, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Yes, it's an extremely robust platform, but we can go in from our guesstimating into our production rate-based estimating. So if you're not comfortable with a production rate-based estimating system, whether it's on your own numbers or industry averages, we can go in 3 to 6 months, run reports based on your data, your guys and girls in the field, and your equipment, and see how long it takes on average to mow, blow, and edge that lawn, or how long it takes to do a weekly or biweekly cleaning, or a top to bottom deluxe, your initial clean. So whether the industry is inside or outside of the house, this is going to be applicable, so hang in there. So I'm going to lay some foundations, how to set it up, and then once we've customized the document and got everything built in, we're going to go in and actually show you how to add property-specific pictures and property-specific videos in the estimate for that ability to make that emotional connection, sell at a higher price, and overcome all those sales and price objections up front in your documents. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into something I like to call the SimpleGrowth blueprint. So this is something as a certified advisor of Service Autopilot that we use when we help other members set up their SA account. So what we traditionally do here is I'm going to use a lawn mowing example and a home cleaning example, just so we aren't alienating any industry that uses it. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and put in lawn mowing. So this is going to be our service name. If you're watching this on the recorded version, you feel free to follow each step, pause it, and go back and forth. And if you like the content or you have any questions around this, please drop some comments in here. It helps just to know where you're at. But the custom field is that job variable. What's the area we're mow, blowing, edging? So I'm going to say it's called turf square footage. Now, in service number 2, we're going to do the same exact thing, but I'm going to do using a home cleaning example. So I'm going to call this weekly home cleaning. And I will tell you what, our special guest that couldn't make it, Tina Services, got this dialed in and made for time. And I can't wait to get her on because she has got an amazing system in 2 different states. And actually, her company actually cleans my house. I'm kind of excited to show you the perspective of a user, a consumer, and a business on both ends. But for her weekly home cleaning, I'm assuming she's probably putting home square footage. So if you're looking this up on Zillow, that's that livable square footage of the house being clean. So now we've got 2 industry-specific examples. Lawn mowing for turf square footage. Weekly home cleaning is home square footage. Now, the next thing I'm going to be going in, if we are working together or you're doing this by yourself, is we would want to go in and say, okay, what is your charge per man hour or charge per maid hour, whatever that is per person on your team? So in the lawn mowing example, I'm going to say it's $50 per hour, and I'm also going to use the same down in the cleaning example. Now, the next thing is we're going to be looking at what's your expense per man hour, so your break even per man hour, so what it costs you before you make a profit. I'm going to say in the lawn care example, it's costing us $36 labor burden, and general administrative costs, all in, gas, oil, all that, maintenance. And in the home cleaning example, I'm going to probably say that's going to be probably close to 28 or $29 per maid hour per man hour. Now, based on that, it's the same process here, no matter your service. The first variable is going to be 1 square foot for lawn care and home cleaning. The reason why we're starting is 1, because if it's 0, it's going to automatically calculate a price for every service in your template. You'll see that. That'll make sense in a minute. But I say for best practice, we don't want to show a price unless we're actually quoting that price. So what it's going to do is when you go to delegate that, or it's the end of a long week like it is this week for sure, it's going to eliminate the step of error for you quoting a service you didn't intend on quoting. So now I'm going to say, what is my base price for this lawn mowing or weekly home cleaning? So I'm going to say in the lawn mowing example, my base price to show up and get out of bed is $45. And now my weekly home cleaning, I'm going to say, is $125. So that's the base price. It's the lowest price that you would charge to show up. Now, the next question I'm going to be asking you here, or you should be asking yourself, is based on your weekly mowing or your weekly cleaning, what is the maximum? So I'm saying, what is the maximum square footage of turf or home cleaning square footage that will cover the minimum price of $45 for the mowing or $125 for the cleaning? So I'm going to put some fictitious examples in here, but I'm going to say for $45, that's going to cover, let's say, 5,000 square feet of turf. And I'm going to be able to clean up to an 1,100 square foot house on a weekly basis for $125. So between 1 square foot and 5,000 for the lawn, and 1 and 1,100 square feet For the house is our base price of $45 and $125 respectively. Now, what the sheet has already done is said based on our hourly goal of $50 per hour up top on the mowing, we have a maximum of 0.9 man hours to do that. So if we did some very simple math, we took 0.9 and multiplied that by 60, that is 54 minutes. So the crew, if it's based on one person, has 54 minutes to mow, blow, and edge the first 5,000 square feet. Now, what we're probably going to do is say every 1,000 square feet over 5,000 is a price and budgeted time and cost more. So if we make a very simple equation into that, I'm going to say, well, if our production rate is consistent moving over, there's 5 parts of 1,000 and 5,000. So I'm just going to say equals 45 divided by 5. So that's going to be a equal production rate there. So we're going to go in equals 0.9 divided by 5 is 0.18 man hours. It's costing us $6.48 based on our price of $36 per man hour. And now our price that we need to charge is 0.18 man hours times our $50. So that's $9 per 1,000 after the base price. So what we've done is set a minimal based on a max amount of area and a budgeted time and a cost before profit. Now in the home cleaning example down here, same exact thing. There is 1.1 parts of 1,000 here. So I'm going to say equals 2.5 hours divided by 1.1 is 2.7 or 2.27 man hours. Now what I could do is that's per 1,000, but I would probably say in home cleaning, we're going to go, and we've done this with a lot of home cleaning companies as well. I would probably go in and divide this by 11 and make this every 100 square feet of home over the 1,100 square foot base is going to take us 0.23 man hours. It's costing us $6.59, and we need to be charging, based at $50 per man hour, $11.36. So this is how we go in and systematically create a production rate based estimating system. So whether it is lawn care, home cleaning, your weekly, your bi-weekly services are going to have different production rates, but your charge per hour and your expense per hour are going to stay consistent. But this is going to be your blueprint here to build out your services inside Service Autopilot. So the next step is we're going to go and build all of these out. Now I want to go in this example and show you how we could accomplish drive time. So I'm just going to call this zone number 1. So that's the service name, and it would probably be zone number 1, drive time, maybe lawn mowing. But the custom field that tracks that is going to be the same custom field. So what we're really doing is, whether it's a lawn care home cleaning situation, we really want to take a look at it in the fact that if in a lawn mowing scenario, from our shop through say 30 jobs and all the way back to the shop is taking us on average an hour, so 60 minutes, and there's 30 lawns, we would divide 60 by 30, and that would give us 2 minutes. So our budgeted time on average in zone number 1, if we can cut 30 lawns a day, and on average it takes us an hour round trip, is 2 minutes. So I'm going to go in and say our budgeted time is 2 minutes divided by 60, and that's going to give us budgeted man hours. That's 0.03 hours. So it's about 2 minutes ballpark. Well, actually it is 2 minutes, as I just said. So same thing is, we're going to put our $50 an hour in here in our 36 break even. What we're going to say is 1-to-1, every house, we need to charge 0.03 times our hourly rate. So every house now, we should be adding $1.67. Now, if you're using an industry professional like Jason Cupp or Jim Houston for your financials, or Debbie Sardone in the cleaning industry, full transparency, we don't do financial consulting as a certified advisor, but we do take those numbers and help you get those in. But if you're doing it yourself, one thing you want to be aware is if your fully loaded break-even number includes the non-mobilization of the downtime, you do not want to double dip here, because you will raise your prices up and above. But if the number you have, if you've come up with it yourself, your break-even number does not include all your labor hours for the whole entire year on average, billable and non-billable, you want to put the charge in here as well. But either way, we still want to have that budgeted drive time in there for accounting or for reporting and actual versus budgeted. So it's very important either way that we do include the drive time budgeted hours to make sure our reporting and our scheduling is accurate. Now, this is for every one house. And then just a little redundancy, we'd say every one trip over one. So this is where if we're going to dump debris or pick up materials, maybe at a nursery, we may go out there twice because our equipment can't carry all of that. So we're going to put $1.67 in here and 0.03 hours again, and a cost of $1.20. So that is the way we build out the services and how we create drive time. So the last thing I want to tackle here before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of this, of getting the picture and the video is property specific and building these documents out, is I want to just show you on a high level how to set these services up, because unless you're estimating for success with profitability, you don't want to sell an unprofitable job. And this is how we ensure we have profitable jobs that are delegatable through an estimating system. So last thing, we talked about guesstimating. So whether it's lawn care or home cleaning, you may not know how long it takes or how much you should charge, but based on your experience, you may be able to go out and estimate the service. So what we're going to do is put in here lawn mowing man minutes. Okay. And that's our service, really. And we're going to go in and put lawn mowing man minutes in here. So I'm going to say our base price above was $45. So $45 to show up. We're charging $50 an hour, and it was costing us $36 an hour break even. So now, as you can see, the sheet's filling out some of the variables here in the blueprint, but it's a little bit different. I'm saying in my phone on an on-site estimate form, I'm plugging how many minutes do you think it's going to take to mow that lawn? So I'm going to say between 1 and 0.9 minutes, or 0.9 hours times 60 is going to give me 54 minutes. So between 1 and 54 minutes, I'm charging $45. Every 1 minute over 54 minutes is, and I'm going to put in equals 1 minute divided by 60 minutes is 0.02. So that's 1 minute in actual hours. So I'm going to say based on a minute, 0.02 times our $50 an hour, we're charging 83 cents per hour, and it's costing us 60. So now I have the ability to go in and measure a property based on a production rate, or plug in how many minutes or hours, and then when we pull up the estimate template, it will put the price, budget, time, and cost for profit. So this is your first baby step before you evolve into a production rate based estimating system. And this is something where I really like about Service Autopilot, because it's robust enough to grow into. So as you're going to look for a CRM, a customer relationship management software, one of the things that I realized is my first software was a great software, but I hit a glass ceiling. I couldn't expand past that. So when you go out to buy a CRM, take a look at where you're at and where you want to go. And does it have the ability, like this software and Service Autopilot, to go and take granular steps of how long you think it's going to take based on your experience, and then take that data and evolve into a production rate based estimating system with all the robustness of reporting and things like that. So that is a huge, huge benefit here, in my opinion. Now, we've been using this for 8 or 9 years, and this is something that we've learned throughout the way. So we've got square foot of lawn, square foot of home, driving, and now we have lawn mowing or home cleaning man minutes. And we can base it on those areas. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into SA and show you where this sheet actually lines up. So I'm going to go into the gear icon and go to custom fields. For a reason, we build our custom field first, we build our services, we build our estimate documents, your email document and acceptance email, and then you build your template and you suck in your document in there, and now you have a full, complete setup. So first thing we want to do is go right from our SimpleGrowth blueprint and get our custom fields of church square footage, home square footage, drive time zone, or lawn mowing man minutes. So what you're going to do is go in, and I'm not going to build these all out for time's sake, but I'm just going to show you on one service how you do it so you can manipulate or match it, and then I've got something completely put together. But I'm going to step through each step for about a minute or two so you can see sequentially how this builds, and then we're going to get into how to insert those pictures and videos. So I'm just going to call it lawn mowing, or I'm sorry, church square footage. And the church square footage is associated to the customer, and it is a number. So we can go in and build that off of a mathematical equation. Now we'd hit save and new. I've already got some in here, so I'm not going to make a duplicate. But the idea is you first build all your custom fields. Next thing is we're going into gear icon once again, and we're going to go into services. I want to give you the foundational pieces to make sure you're doing this the right way, and then we're going to go into the video and the pictures property specific before we get to the top of the hour here. And any comments or questions along the way, just let me know. So next thing is we're going to go in and add a service. So let's say we're bringing in that lawn mowing or that home cleaning. So I'm going to put it in here as lawn mowing. And for time's sake, I'm going to go in and put this in as a code because that's required. Now, if you're creating snow services, getting the time of year, showing snow dispatch right here needs to be checked. Per mode is going to be per unit. We're going to type out an estimate description. We're going to select an account, maintenance services, and if you use classes in QuickBooks, this is a summer account probably. Now, under estimates, we type in the estimate description. This is what's going to show on the estimate. Final thing is rate matrix. So calculation is going to get quantity, rate times visits, and based on the custom field of turf square footage. And then we're taking our matrices here from 1 to 5,000 and these 5 cells. Now the matrix here is very, very important because the blueprint shows us what to build inside SA. So we're going to build it first and check it and then transfer it over to Service Autopilot. Very similar to building a house. You're not going to build a house without a blueprint. You're not going to put random doors and windows everywhere. Well, here you don't want to build the estimate, in my opinion, the matrices, without a blueprint. So if you're building this yourself, take this template and recreate it. This is going to help you. It looks like an extra step, but the positive part is here, whether you're working with SimpleGrowth as a certified advisor, you're doing this self, is 12 months from now, I'm pretty sure you're not going to remember exactly how you made your price. You can go back to this sheet and see exactly I was charging $50 an hour. My cost per hour was 36, and these were my assumptions. Now, if we went in and changed our expense per hour next year and moved that to 38, watch your expense here of 32.40 now jumps up to 34.20. So by changing that one cell, the sheet tells you what you need to do to update your matrices each year in Service Autopilot. Very, very helpful. But I'm going to take these 5 cells here and basically put them right here. So I'm going to say from 1 to 5,000 square feet, it's $45. And that's the same up here. Now it's 0.9 budgeted hours. It's based on one person. The system will calculate if you have a 2 or 3 person crew, and $32.40 for your break-even cost. So I'm going to put in my 0.9 and $32.40, and then every 1,000 square feet over my 5,000, right here, these 5 cells automatically line up. It's $9 more, 0.18 man hours, and a cost of $6.48. What we would do here, I'm not going to save that for these purposes, but what we can do now is go in and hit save, and that's created our master service. So there's a parent and child service relationship here. So the next thing we'd want to do then is I'm going to go into the example of drive time. So this is a child service of the mowing. So what we're going to do is go in and add a service, if we can get to it, and drop this in here. Now we're going to add a child service. So this is going to be right off the blueprint, lawn mowing drive time, zone 1. Now, instead of having to fill out the code and invoice description and else, what I'm going to do is go in and select my lawn mowing service. Obviously, it's a test account. You'd never have this many duplicates, but I got my lawn mowing service. Now, if I make that parent service and I say only in estimates here, it compresses it down. So I don't have to worry about any of that because the customer's never going to see it. This is your invisible estimating checklist. Now, under rate matrix, the same thing. We want to go in, rate times visits, custom field of drive time zone 1. I'm just going to use the mulch example. But the same thing is right off the SA or the SimpleGrowth blueprint here, 1-to-1. So every trip is $1.67, 0.03 man hours, and a cost of $1.20. So same thing, from every trip is $1.67. Go back to our blueprint, 0.03 and 120. 0.03, 120, and then at the 1-to-1 relationship. So every trip is the same, and we're going to plug that in. And once again, if you're not sure what to put in there, you go right back to your Simple Growth blueprint, and that's all on the bottom here. So what we're doing is we're creating a lot of the features and functions of Service Autopilot and creating a systematic workflow that's predictable and can be delegatable in any industry. And that's been the success in my lawn care company, as well as the several hundred we've helped set these things up. But by all means, watch this video and you can do it yourself. But if you need some help, obviously we're here. But the idea is we want to go in and create a predictable workflow, and this is how we've done it. Now, last thing that you need to do as a quick review, and then we're getting into this estimate document for pictures and videos, is now you've got your custom fields built, you've got your service built with the matrices, and you have your child services such as drive time or disposal fees. We're going to go in now and under the gear icon document, so I'm just going to type in DOC, it's a systematic part. So you've got 3 parts here. So I'm going to use a little Picasso here on this paper, but you've got 3 parts here that are going to play together. And you've got the estimate email, you've got the estimate document, and the acceptance email. What happens here is this one fires off with a link. They click on it, and it goes in. They open up the estimate. We're going to put your pictures and your videos. And then when they accept that estimate, they go in here, and they get an automated email that says, thanks for accepting our service. Now, where this all plays into is you have a template. And your template here is going to give us the ability in a minute to select this chain of documents that are already connected. So we're avoiding steps along the way that are manual. And when we load that template, all your services are loaded. So what we're doing is first, sequentially, we need to have our estimate email, estimate document, and acceptance email, because when we go to build our template, we need to insert that in and have them already created. So what we're going to do is go in, and I'm just going to pull up, if you're working with SimpleGrowth already, if you search the word SimpleGrowth, they're all loaded under there. But we've had this preset, and obviously this wasn't a pre-planned training essay weekly, but you know, it is what it is. We've got to keep going here. So we've got a client estimate email. So this is the email that is sent to the client with a proposal link in it. This is the email subject line on the bottom. Now, when we go in and hit edit, you've got some documents here that we've already pre-built here. But the idea, you'll get the idea, is we've got the logo, some context, and then this is a clickable quote link. That can be found under merge tags, and it's under estimate link or quote link. That will dynamically insert a link to get to the estimate document, where we're going to be inserting a picture and a property specific video here in a second. But that's the first step. Your next step is a estimate acceptance email. So once again, I'm going to go back in here and just pull up under SimpleGrowth this here. And it's a certified advisor through some testing and vetting from SA. This is kind of what we've been doing here. So, but the acceptance email is an email that automatically fires off when the estimate's accepted. Now, you need to make the estimate email first and the acceptance email first, because we need to connect them to the estimate document. Email subject line is thank you. And when we go in there, and it literally just says, hey, we'll be reaching out. Thanks for accepting the estimate. As you scroll down, you can filter in through type as well. And this is estimate. So that's another way to make sure you have an estimate document. But if you go in there, we have our, let's see, our snow contract. We'll take a look at that one. But what we've done is the estimate email right here is connected to the estimate email we just made, and the confirmation email is the acceptance email. We need to connect those two for a seamless interaction. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and you're going to have some manual steps in between. So we're not teaching features and functions of Service Autopilot today. We're teaching workflow and then how to go in and specially personalize those estimates with videos and pictures, property specific. But we need to get the document and the standardization of the document done first before we can go in and customize it per client. This is going to create speed and efficiency. So we've got our estimate, we've got our logo, we have our dynamic content, also called estimate grid under the gear icon. One and the same, just called something a little bit different. And we've got some verbiage here. And then at the bottom, we have some other videos we've embedded here standard. Highly recommend these videos. Sure, Marcus Sheridan of They Ask You Answer in the Sales Line will be talking about this, especially in his talk at SA Thrive 2020. But this is something we've been doing in my company, very similar to what Marcus was doing in river pools and spas for the last probably 7 or 8 years. but these videos will play live right inside the service autopilot document. So not only do you want to create property specific videos and pictures in the estimate, but have 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5, in our case 9 of your core services, and talk about what's included, what's not included, and overcome those sales and price objections. This is your automated 24/7 estimator for you. And then at the bottom here, there's a line of code. And what that line of code is literally is when we're going in and we're hitting merge, it is our signature line. And let me pull that up. Right here, signature line. You click that, that's going to insert that piece of code, and that's where they can sign electronically and accept online. I'm not going to do anything to this document so I don't screw it up, but those are the main things you need to do, and have your estimate email and your estimate acceptance email connected to this under the settings. Now, the final part is we want to create a template that pulls all the services in, and then we're going to pull up this document and show you how to customize the picture and the video per specific property. So we're going to go in and hit job estimate templates. And add a template. And actually, I'm probably not going to save this, but you would put a description under this, show when creating, I would say both jobs and estimates. It opens up in other areas. So select the document. So this is the document that we just made. And that is what's going to allow us to merge in the estimate email, estimate document, and template. And then under add item, we're going to go in and put our lawn mowing or our home cleaning. And underneath that, we can put our lawn mowing man minutes. And actually, I'm going to do that as a plus icon because this is going to be a child service. And we've included some default drive times here. So you'll actually see this on the example I'm going to show you. But the idea is we can pump in how many minutes, like 45 minutes is $45, or let's say 60 minutes, $55.12. So it's a price, a budget, time, and cost. So I'm going to zero that out because on the template, whatever's left in the template will pre-default in. But the idea is we've got our parent service and then our child or use and only estimates here below that. So these are the drive times. You'll see that. So that's the idea of that. Once we've done that, we'll save and close. And we're going to create our estimate process now. So I'm going to go into one we've already built just for speed here. But the idea is we're going to go in and add a lead. Home cleaning, lawn care, doesn't matter. I'm going to put our old tester in here. I'm going to put an address in. Postal code. So this is what's happening if they are calling your office and you are entering this in as an admin in the office. Otherwise, if they come off a V2 or V3 form with the proper settings, they'll automatically enter in the service autopilot with no double entry. Highly recommend the V3 form. That is show ready in my opinion, and that's going to do a duplicate check for you. We're going to enter in our email of the potential lead. And we want to enter in the cell phone. Other things you want to pay attention to is under details, account type, residential or commercial. Sales, how did they hear about us? So we can track that. I'm going to say they came from canvassing and door hangers, and I'm going to save that. Now that lead's committed, it does dupe checking. Obviously, this is our favorite place to do some testing on, so we'll continue. It is not a dupe in this scenario. We're going to create this estimate, and we're going to create these property-specific pricing pictures and videos here in a second as well. So we want to go into the more area and measure the property to grab a turf square footage to create an automated production rate-based estimate. Now, if you are doing this in person, I still recommend measuring it online for accuracy and speed. And then anything else that needs to be measured, you're using an on-site estimate form, putting that data in there, and creating the videos and pictures as you're walking around the properties. So we're going to highlight that in there. I'm going to label that turf. I'm going to color it. So every time we pull it up, we know what we measured. Save. Custom field, you'll never have this many, but once you get there, we go to turf square footage, and that was that custom field right off the SA blueprint here, or the service autopilot blueprint for turf or home square footage. Now, next thing we're doing is we'd go to A for auto assist or in your mobile, predominantly in your mobile, and we're going to be able to go in now and pull this up. So we're going to pull it up in our phone, and as we're walking around, we're going to use the video and picture in your phone as well, or tablet, to make this happen. First step is we measure online, then we go on property, walk out of your car or truck or in the house, and we're going to use our on-site estimate form. And once that loads, we're going to use the on-site estimate form to collect the rest of the data that we may need. So lawn square footage we've already covered. If I'm doing a mulch job and I want it to be 3 inches in depth, I'm going to say, oh, we just measured that bed. It's 500 square feet. And the mulch bed for weeding is another 500 square feet. So we're walking around and getting the data in our phone or tablet, and then we're going to take the pictures and videos and get them in the estimate. So drive time trips, like I said, that 1-to-1, or it could be 2 trips. Maybe there's so much mulch that we can't fit it in our truck or trailer. So we got to go twice. And shrub pruning, I'm going to say number of large, small, medium, and large shrubs. So large, there's 2 shrubs between 6 and 10 feet. There is, let's say, 8 shrubs between 6 and less than 10, and less than 3 feet, there's 20. And hedgerows with and without a ladder, maybe there's none, so we leave it blank, but we can also put a note in here, does not include hedgerow on east lot line. Maybe that's the neighbors, but we're spelling that out. This is automatically going to merge in the estimate without you forgetting to put it in here. And we're going to scroll down and hit submit. Now, the next step is we're pulling out our phone and going in and creating the videos and pictures of the property. Now, hard to see if you can see it on here. I've got that little red icon. It's YouTube Studio. You're going to want YouTube Studio off the App Store. What that's going to allow you to do is take a video from your phone, upload it to your YouTube channel, and put it private or unlisted. And we can take that YouTube video and insert it inside your SA estimate, property specific per client. I would create some kind of naming convention as you start to add the volume of videos. But that's going to be important. You've got the YouTube, that little red icon, YouTube Creator Studio app, and that's going to allow you to avoid using those third-party softwares. So next thing we're doing is we're going in to add an estimate. So we've measured it online. We've walked around the property. We've taken our pictures. We've taken our video, and we've created our estimate. So as we're going in here, let me just refresh out of this. I forgot to click out of my form. Add an estimate. So now if you're on site, you're probably going to want to have a cheap Chromebook or a tablet or even in your mobile. But for ease, it's going to be easier with a laptop to do this. So we're going to hit add an estimate. Everything we've measured on site or through the satellite is going to merge in here. So estimate document is not going to have to be selected. When we go in, we're going to select the template, and that's going to bring in everything we've done already. So we're not recreating the work. We've created a predictable workflow already. So your estimate email with the link, estimate document, and estimate email. And the template loads all the services that we've already loaded in as well. So we're going to go and hit template. And that on-site estimate form can be customized for home cleaning as well, or pest control. So it's really, whatever you think, whatever your industry is, that works. So I'm going to grab my lead document here, and that's going to pull in all the services. So this one was really identical to the example here. It already pre-built it. But what I'm going to do is go in on the fly here and add in lawn mowing man minutes. So you can see what that looks like. Now, you would already have this built in here. And another thing to make sure is don't have the little checkbox checked. So I just duplicated everything in here. But that's okay. Facebook Live, and we'll fix it. All right, so now we have all our drive time zones. I have 9,700 square feet. It's giving me a price of $30, 0.4 man hours, and a cost of $14.76. And I don't copy the pricing because this is obviously fictitious. It's a test account. I'm going to say we're driving to this one drive time zone. So I'm going to put the number 1 in there, and that's going to calculate a price, budgeted time, and cost. And I'm going to go into lawn mowing man minutes. So let's just say I was looking at that yard, and I thought it was going to take 45 minutes. So I put 45 in there on the on-site estimate form. This would have automatically came in. But let's say I said it was maybe 60 minutes, an hour. So what we've done here is this is your guesstimating versus production rate. So you can have your production rate here of 30 based on the production rate, and then based on how long you think it's going to take, the sheet's saying you should charge $55.12 based on your hourly goal. So now you can have a comparison of production versus minutes based on what's in your head. So I'm going to zero this out, but that's how that plays out. And that's a pretty cool stepping stone that SA, if you build it in the workflow that we recommend, can do that for you. So I'm going to hit draft a quote. I'm going to scroll down to my shrub pruning. All the numbers from the on-site estimate form came in. I'm going to hit draft a quote, and I'm going to add drive time in. So that's a $289 shrub trimming, and the property-specific notes that we're not pruning the hedgerow is already merged in, so we're covered there. Now, the final step is to go down and save. Now, you're probably asking me, Mike, the headline of this video is property-specific pictures and videos in an estimate to close more sales. So we've showed you how to set it up and standardize it. So literally all we have to do is measure it, go out and set up our videos and pictures and use our on-site estimate form. So we have that, and that's in our computer now. And we've gone to YouTube and used the YouTube Creator Studio right here. It's that little red icon. We've downloaded that. Now we're going to go in, instead of emailing it immediately, we're going to go in and edit. And this is how we have a one-off edition. So I'm really excited about Marcus's talk about this. I'm not going to go into too much detail and theory on it, but I think it's going to be a great talk. But after you see Marcus's talk, or you're hopefully pretty excited about seeing this talk here on the SA Weekly, you want to be able to go down here and scroll down in the edit. And this is only property specific. So this is my estimate template. So first thing you want to do is go in and delete your estimate template for best practice, because that will get broken sometimes, and select your estimate template. And then we're going to go into rows, and we're going to drop in 2 of them. And we're going to go to content. And the first one, actually, we may actually drop 2 of these in here. Hold on a minute. So I'm going to just put some text in here so you can kind of get the idea of what we're doing quickly. Property, picture details. If you're watching this, none of this was pre-planned, so I apologize if it's going a little bit longer than anticipated, but you will definitely get the idea. Then we are going in and adding in, nope, I already have it. Nope, I want one more. I want to take my content, take my text, estimate video. What we're doing, if you're just joining us, is we're creating property-specific pictures and videos for each property that we actually go out and estimate. Inside Service Autopilot, we're teaching a workflow to it. And I'm pretty excited because this is going to close more sales in your sales process if you stick to it. That I definitely guarantee. So next thing we're doing now is we're going into the content area, and we're going to grab the image particular in here. So I believe in this test account I already have some property-specific pictures for that. So right here, I've got the service area, the area where we are servicing. So let's say in this example, we're only servicing the front yard. So I could say service area 1 and number 2, and we could take that right out of Smart Maps or Maps Pro and use a product called Jing or Snagit to mark that up. Or you could be on site and taking property-specific pictures of it in the actual yard. But either way, we've created a property picture detail of the services. Now, if we're out there with our phone, we're going to take the video, and then we're going to YouTube Creator and uploading it, marking it as private or basically hidden. And we're going to go into the content area of the document editor and pull over the HTML code. Now, when you click in this, off to the right, there's an area where you can insert code. So I've got a video here where I was doing some training on how to go out and edge and basically maintain a property. So this was internal training that we did for our team. But imagine you were at this property and you were talking about, not necessarily with equipment, but how you were going to maintain this and the specific issues or things that you were doing differently and creating a higher perceived value. So you take this property specific play here, and you're talking about maybe the beds and how you're pruning the beds and certain things. And we're taking this property specific video that's unlisted now and you've uploaded from your phone, from the YouTube app. We're going to go in and hit share. We're going to go to hit embed, and we're going to copy the HTML code. And once we have that HTML code, we're going to go right into this HTML block, highlight this, paste it in, and boom, we have a live video of the exact property that you're estimating that will go out to the client. So what you're going to do now is hit save. It's probably going to kick you out of the estimate. We got to open it back up, but that's okay. And we're going to close it. Do you want to save before adding or leaving? Yes, we do. And this is not going to override the document and all the work we've already done. This is only for that particular estimate right here. So you're going to want to open that back up. When you're in the HTML and editing that, it will basically save and close the estimate. Half of an extra step, but totally worth it. Now we've gone in and inserted property specific pictures and videos in the estimate. We're going to go in and preview it just to make sure, and then we'll email it out and wrap the video up how to actually go about and close this loop. Do not want to send it to sent yet, and we are going to send this out, and I'll show you what the rest looks like. And our PDF preview of this will be coming up in a minute. And then we're going to go out and email this. So here is our PDF preview. Everything's in here. Our quote, our picture, and our playable video. So last thing to do is go in, hit email. The templated email loads that we built. First step of estimate email with link. We hit send. Goes to the client's email. They open it up. They're going to click a link, open up the estimate, accept it, and then the estimate acceptance comes up. So I'm going to go on my other screen really quickly, pull up my email, show what it looks like on the client's end, and then we will go from there. All right, so as I pull it over, this is out of my email inbox, Callahan's Lawn Care. Go in, click view your proposal, and now we have an estimate that's property specific with a picture and a video to create more perceived value, overcome any sales or price objections. They're going to click lawn mowing, scroll down to accept it. I've got a generic video that explains the service of lawn mowing in there already. Shrub pruning, special job notes. Now property specific pricing for service area for that picture, and estimate video detail. So huge win. SA Community, SA Weekly Talk Show. Mike Callahan coming back at you next week with hopefully Tina Service of Made for Time and Lisa Marino and potentially Marcus Sheridan here in the next few weeks. So we'll see you again. SA Weekly Talk Show, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. Flying by the seat of our pants today, but still bringing some solid value and cutting edge techniques. How to use Service Autopilot to go out and insert property specific pictures and video and to blow up your sales process to finish up this season, folks. So comments, questions, drop below. We'll see you again next week. Mike Callahan, SA Weekly Talk Show.
If you like this show, you might want to check out our resources at www.startsimplegrowth.com. While you're there, enter to win an estimator chatbot. Mike Callahan is available for private coaching.